If you compare the songs, there are songs that deal with heartache. There are songs that deal with finding a new lover, or maybe even finding your the girl you were married with. And some sort of that you're dealing with the feelings that you have yourself. After New Lover, what song came then?
At that time, I was working. I found like this. I was really like a group of songs came. The two that really jump out to me from that very period were Appleblossom Rag and then Nightmares, which were both. Appleblossom Rag came very quickly. It came about like I was thinking about this kind of person. I felt like I was describing myself, kind of wandering around New York suddenly without a lot of friends in town. And without a group, without a gang, and I had this gang, and I was falling into gangs, like groups of people, and that I didn't know, but I was kind of putting myself out there, but I didn't, and I would, and this idea that you could like love this group of people and know all their names, and they probably wouldn't know yours, but they didn't really care. And then there was also like this, a new girl, like finding some new girl that you were kind of meeting who was refreshing, and that you didn't care when you came home or where you were. But that's also so depressing that she didn't care, She had I felt like I'd already come from that, and and here I was like repeating the mistake. Appleblossom. So that was Appleblossom, and then Nightmares was a song about just not being able to sleep, and I had gone to the doctor. I was having terrible difficulty sleeping, like awful insomnia, and just a terrible time. And the doctor prescribed me a drug for that, which made the nightmares just horrifying and horrific. But the nightmares are so clear and so vivid, and I could still remember them. And it was so easy to write about them. And here were these kind of things that were these tiny horses that would ride down these long silver needles from the moon, and just and sew your navel to your soul, and it seemed, and it fix you to the bed, and it was all so horrifying, like an Albrecht Dürer, like woodcut, just. I apologize. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Yeah, and that was so those came, and they were.
What did these nightmares tell you?
Well, they allowed me to get out my anger a little bit. It was a way for me to it was a way for me to tell the person, my wife, that I had known what was going on, and it was a way for me to speak to the other person, in that relationship. And a way for me to say, this thing that you did is going to follow you, and it will follow you. And it will follow you, and it's going to color your life for the rest of your life, this thing that you did. And it's going to find you when you sleep. And it was that kind of insidiousness that I wanted. I wanted, the same way with Evil Eye, I wanted something insidious, a spell to follow that person no matter where they went.
Because there's a line in Nightmares. I know that you had been untrue. I didn't know how, but I knew. This happened. This.
Absolutely, yeah. There's times when that, I think we know that stuff when it's happening. I don't think anybody really can keep secrets like that. Yeah.
But is it for you? Do you, because you said Nightmares and Evil Eye, that's gonna haunt someone? Do you feel like this now towards her, or? Well,
I think that's. I don't. I have to be honest that I think there are parts about this record that are about forgiveness and that are real and true. But I don't believe in the things people told me, even right after everything had gone down, were that I really latched onto as funny. Where they said be good to yourself, what does that mean? No one knows what it means. Be good to yourself. You know, and then the other thing that they said was, you know, you'll have to learn to forgive. You know, we all learn to forgive, and I thought, no one learns how to forgive. Like, forgiveness is something that you know, your cells are filled up with this rage, and it has to sift out. It has to take time. You know, it's biological. It's not a thing. It's not a thing of the soul. You know, it's not a thing that, like, you know, that is we're not ethereal beings. You know, there's a sand of anger that has to, and silt that has to, like, get out of our cells. I really truly believe that, and so all that we really have is we can intend to forgive. You know, I intend to forgive. As time goes by, I will have totally forgive. You know, and my life is fantastic now. I have a beautiful partner. I have a beautiful child. My family, my band, my friends, we are as tight now and tighter than we've ever been because of experiences like that. And but still, there's a moment when I still have flashes of anger, you know, and I know it will change. But this was a record of the moment, and I felt like if I was to, like, leave some of those things out, they wouldn't leave me either. You know, I would have lost the chance to talk about this stuff.
What was the last song you wrote for this album?
It was Joy to You Baby and Lights were both I wrote probably in the same week.
And if you listen to those songs compared to Nightmares and Evil Eye,
yeah,
what do you hear?
Well, I think I hear somebody who's gotten out a lot of the anger, but I also hear, like, somebody who found something. You know, I feel like what I hear in that stuff in myself from that point on is somebody who's finally, like, learned how to accept somebody loving you. You know, like, you don't believe that it's for any other reason than they just love you. You know, and that's something that has been the biggest thing that's come out of this period. It was like learning how to just accept someone being in love with you and not and relax into it and not worry about whether it's going to go away. You know, not worry about whether someone else is going to come along and throw a spanner in the works. You know, it's a really great thing. And, like, I think the pedestal about I think the mountaintop that I could made it to was that feeling. You know.
Well, there's a line, joy to you, baby, that you sing, joy to me too tonight.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, yeah, it's you gotta, like, you gotta, you know, there's the, you know, you go your way, I'll go mine, and everything, you know, both of us we've had this experience. No one will ever take it away. There were moments about it that were wonderful. There were moments about it that were horrifying, you know. But we carry both of those things with us wherever we go, and we both deserve our measure of joy, you know. And I certainly hope she finds whatever it is, you know.
Has she heard the album?
I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, I hope if she does that she hears it for what it is, which is, like, a lot of good stuff, you know, with the bad.
Okay. And there's a line in Lights, every heart on earth is dark half the time.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do. I think I do. I think we have our ability to, like, experience pleasure, you know, like, you know, to whatever extent, and our joy and stuff, and it can only be measured by the amount that we can experience, like, you know, a heartbreak, you know. I really think that that's true, and you know, a rock can experience neither, you know, but you know, you can have some pretty soaring high moments of great happiness, and I think those are equally balanced by the times that we have that are sad.
Okay, so the yin and yang principle.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Last question. Well, the album is called The Beast in its Tracks. When during the album recording did you come up with this album title?
Very, very late. Actually, at the end. I always come up with the titles at the end because it seems to me that, like, there has to be a title that kind of gets everything in it, and until the record is really done and you can get the kind of vocabulary all washes around and suddenly out comes a title, you know. So that came about. I was looking actually at spells, and you know, and I thought, like, a spell would be, you know, that you could stop the beast in its tracks, you know, and that was like whatever the beast was, that kind of heartbreak and midnight, the feeling of being stalked by like this heartbreak and feeling terrible. Sometimes you feel so great and then it just, everything, you know, is crushing for no reason, and that beast finally catches up with you, you know, and the spell to stop the beast in its tracks was what I wanted, and so that's kind of where it came from.
For you, music-wise, what did you want to do music-wise, or was it just tell the story and see what music fits to it?
I wanted it to be simpler in production than the last record, than So Runs the World Away, which is a very big scale record. I wanted these songs I didn't feel could handle that kind of production. Also, I didn't feel like when I was going through all that I had the energy to really do that. I wanted simple stuff. I wanted a few recurring things. I wanted some doubled string solo interludes. I wanted to be like simple. I wanted a lot of Nashville tuning, and I wanted electric fingerpick guitar. Those were the things I really wanted. And then I wanted to just kind of do them and leave them, and then like come back to them if I felt like I was drawn to them. But I wanted to record everything I had, and then only return to it if it was like interesting, you know, to me at the time.
And you did return?
Yes, yeah. I went back to the stuff. I thought about it like, you go to the beach, you grab as many shells as you can, and then you take them back, and you put them out in front of you, and the ones that kind of glow are the ones that you keep, you know? And they're all there, and you've got them all. Like, I recorded them all, so they're all there. Just some of them glowed, you know, and some of them really belonged on the record, and others just didn't really.
How many didn't belong?
Oh, I'd say 20, about 15 songs, and maybe, yeah, 5 or 6 like little bits.
So the angry songs and
the angry songs, probably the angry songs just didn't. They just weren't attractive. You know, they just weren't good. They weren't like in 20 years I would be sorry about those songs. You know, yeah. Like I'd rather be like feel good about the ones than like put people through that kind of pain. You know.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for those. That was really great. Thanks a lot.